In this video, I will be showing you a bunch of useful knitting-related 3D models that can be 3D printed. Then I will pick one of those to print and show you the process of printing it. After that, we'll give the object that we printed to my wife and see what she thinks of it. This site is called Thingiverse, and it is one of many sites that allow people to share 3D models for 3D printing. I think most people just use objects from a site like this because learning a CAD program to make your own models will take a lot of time. I'm a bit of an outlier here since I got my 3D printer to make prototypes for my spinning wheel business, and I don't actually print models off of these kinds of sites very often, but that's just me. I think most people are going to use 3D printers for this. And even if you don't have a printer, you can often get things printed at a library when they're open again, or you can pay someone to make a print for you online. If you need help finding where to print them, I would suggest searching the internet. So here's a search I just did, and yeah, I haven't really tried any of these. I've heard of these people. They probably have some good suggestions. I've heard of this Craft Cloud, but I haven't used it myself. So I'm not going to make any suggestions here, but if you look around, I'm sure you could find a service to actually 3D print what you're looking for. Here we are back at Thingiverse. All I'm going to do is search for, let's try knitting and see what kind of projects this is going to find. Okay. So let's just start walking through them and sort of get a feel for what sorts of things people are putting on Thingiverse. So this is I would call this a stitch marker, looks like. So if you click on it, it's a pretty simple process. If you just click this download button, you'll get the files that you want. My wife has a lot of these stitch markers that aren't 3D printed, so I don't think she'd want something like this. But this would be a really quick print, and it looks like it would be a functional design. So that might be something people would be interested in. The site's a little slow right now, but we'll make it through. Ooh, this is a sock knitting machine. That sounds interesting, but the picture wasn't very useful there. Let's see what they've got. So this will show you all the different parts that they have for their knitting machine. I guess you can see that I'm seeing this for my first time. So I looked at sock knitting machines a while ago, but I didn't actually see this one. Yeah, a lot of these parts make sense to me. So that's kind of cool. You can see down here, there's quite a few comments. Only 8 people. I think this 8 makes mean only 8 people. Well, I'm not sure if that means how many people downloaded it or how many people have reported they made it, but that's not a very big number. So, here's a much better picture. They should have put this as their first picture. So yeah, this looks like a pretty basic knitting machine, and it's using metal hooks, which is kind of cool. So this might be something I look into a little bit afterwards. This is a kind of thing I'm still considering making. I don't think 3D printing you're going to get really great results, but I think that if I design something with a 3D printer for this and then injection mold them out of like a glass reinforced nylon and maybe using metal parts for certain things, I think you could get a really good sock knitting machine that is much more affordable than what's on the market today. But anyways, well, that one took a while. I wasn't, here's a loom. I don't know much about looms, so I'm going to skip that one. This is a little thing that it says it holds your knitting needles. So that's kind of cool. Maybe my wife could use something like this. So this one's kind of like a beige. I wonder if that's used. So this is a photo, and this is just a picture of the models. And this is what the models look like. So that's not an actual print. That's just a computer-generated model. But most of the pictures here are actual 3D prints. So it looks like they changed filament right here. That's how you get that kind of effect. I think this beige might be that wood-like filament, but I'm not sure. I haven't used it myself, but I've heard good things about it. Anyways, that's a potential. Here's some more stitch markers. This looks like a little project that lets you, this is really cool for kids. I've seen these kinds of things. It lets you make this sort of tube of yarn. It's kind of like a manual, super simplified sock knitter kind of thing. It only does a few stitches, but it's good for kids because it goes quickly and the process is pretty simple. I might print one of those for my daughter sometime. Ooh, this is cool. I know my wife doesn't have many of these. Are yarn bowls. So you put a ball of yarn in here and it sort of prevents it from rolling around when you're knitting. My wife has a nice wooden one, but maybe we could do one of those. Knitting needles. Here's a needle gauge. Let's take a look at that one and see what it looks like. So again, any of these you can just download the file and 3D print. I was actually considering printing out a whole bunch of these, but I realized we probably wouldn't use all of those, so it'd kind of be a waste of plastic. So instead of doing that, I decided to just look at them on the website and maybe print one or two for you guys. So yeah, these are similar to that tube knitter that I mentioned before, but it has more. So you'd get more stitches in your tube that you're knitting. Another tube, some more stitch markers, different kinds of needles. Yeah, it's pretty slow. I bet you there's more, and so it's still loading them as you get down here. But I'm not seeing any. Here's another sock knitting. This is very similar to, you can buy plastic ones like this on Amazon, and they're pretty affordable, but the quality is not very good and it doesn't do enough stitches. But this one's all plastic. So if you're just looking for sort of a machine to try out and understand how they work, this might be a good one to start with. And you don't need the metal knitting needles here, so it would be a little easier to make something like this, and more gauges and things. So I kind of want to make this knitting bowl, but there's going to be lots of things. I think it's usually called a yarn bowl. Let me try searching for that and see if we get more options. So we're basically trying to focus in on a type of product that I think my wife might be interested in, see if there's more options. So yeah, there's definitely, ooh, she loves cats. Let's see what this one's like. Huh. That's a contender. Okay. Let's go back. Oh, this is definitely printed with the wood filament. I wasn't sure about the other one, but this one's definitely using that wood filament, which is pretty nice. I should get some of that sometime. I think I could make some neat projects with that. But yeah, so these are all different. Oh, what's this? Oh, this is a yarn bowl. So this is a photo, and it looks like they took the print and then they painted it, maybe with some, let's see, I printed it at a big scale. Oh, they used Z-epoxy. So that they tell you the kind of glue. They said they sanded it down here. So they kind of tell you how they got this look on it after 3D printing it. So that's always an option too. You can always paint your models because they're always going to come out in one color unless you have a multicolor filament, and then they could come out rainbow colored or something. But that's pretty clearly just been painted, and that's always an option for 3D prints. But yeah, there's lots of. Ooh, another cat. So yeah, you can see that. I mean, yeah, it's loading more down here, but I think I really like this one. Let's go up here and pick to make this one for my wife. Let's just look at a picture. Yeah, so that's pretty big, which is good because sometimes you have big balls of yarn. And let's download the file. I've had a few people leave me tips, which is cool. If I really, really like this, I might come back and give it to them. But for now, I'm not going to do that. And, oh, yeah, it's downloaded already. So let's open that up. So they'll include different things. This one had a files directory, and I'm just going to open up the STL file is the type of file that the 3D printers usually use. So here we go. So sometimes the model won't be oriented the right way, and you'll have to rotate it or something, so you can like rotate it like this and stuff. But this one's already in the right direction. Let's see, 20% infill. Because of like these features, like this curling thing, you're going to need support, so that's going to collapse, as would the cat face over here. So let's include the supports, and then if I hit the slice button, so this is called Cura, and it's by Ultimaker. It works with a lot of different printers, but I happen to have an Ultimaker printer, so this is the app I use. There's many other, I think these are usually called maybe slicers. They're definitely called slicers. They might be called CAM processors. But anyways, you need an app like this that will slice the model into a format that your 3D printer can consume. So I've just done that. It also tells me with the current settings how long it's going to take. Like if I take out, that'll get into too many details for this video. But okay, so I will save it to a file and put it on an SD card, and then I'll show you how I use it with my 3D printer. So here's the SD card. We just come over here and insert it into my 3D printer. Turn it on. Then I select print. It's the cat bowl here. It says it's going to take 23 hours and use 13 meters of material. So I've got a big spool in the back. I should be good. And at this point, the build plate's going to warm up, and then it will start extruding. So here's what the 3D printer does. When it's printing, it just extrudes layer after layer of plastic until the object is formed. We'll come back when it's finished. Okay, here's the finished print. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this one-handed, but I'll try to. I usually use this little device to sort of pry it off the bottom. Oh, yep, I got it. Okay, so the last step of this process is to break off all of these little supports. These are done so that the little spiral here doesn't collapse. So you can break off some with your hands, but I have little needle noise pliers that I use, and that kind of helps me break them away. And there we go. It's all cleaned up now. Okay, we're going to go surprise Emily with it now and see what she thinks. Hey Emily, cover your eyes.
Oh, okay. Well, this better be a kitten.
Oh, perfect. Meow, meow.
Doesn't sound like a kitten.
Okay, hold out your hands.
Both of them?
Yep, but keep your eyes closed.
Okay. What? Okay.
Okay, open your eyes.
Oh, it is a kitten.
Yes!
Oh, wow. Did you make this on your printer?
I did. How do you like it?
Ooh. Thanks. It's not a prototype. I get to keep it.
Yes, you can keep
You're not taking it back? Putting it in your
Nope.
office?
It's yours.
That's pretty cute.
Thanks for watching.